stranded in sub-freezing temperatures. We'll have the latest on the only Utah on board.
And it was a battle till the end. Utah versus BYU. We've got the highlights and lowlights, depending on which team you were rooting for, and what fans thought of the entire thing straight ahead on Eyewitness News. The MS Explorer disaster off the coast of Antarctica is being compared to the Titanic tragedy.
Except in this case, everybody got off okay. One woman on board is from Salt Lake City. Alex Cabrero spoke with her brother this afternoon, who says he's finally getting some good news. Alex.
Yeah, Keith and Lawyer Robert Paisola says it's been the longest 2 days of his life. His sister and his aunt were on board that ship. When he found out it was sinking, he found out everyone was ordered into lifeboats. He didn't know really what to think when he got that news. It was even more frustrating when he wasn't getting any answers from the cruise company. But now, finally, he feels better about the entire situation. Every time there's a new picture of a lifeboat, Robert Paisola strains his eyes looking for his sister.
Lisa has not been able to contact anybody since that first phone call.
Lisa Paisola, his sister, was looking for a big adventure when she booked a cruise to Antarctica, and certainly got one.
She is an adventurer. She's traveled all throughout the world, and this is the last continent that she has not been able to go to.
She made it there, but not in the way she was planning. You see, her boat, the MS Explorer, owned by Gap Adventures, started sinking. That's where the lifeboats come in.
In order to pass time, the passengers simply imagined they were on a whale watching expedition. They didn't find any whales, but I do understand they found some penguins.
Fortunately, they also saw a Norwegian cruise ship, which heard the distress call and picked up all 154 passengers from 14 nations, taking them to King George Island on Antarctica. They'll be flown to Chile and then home.
Chilean government have been excellent. Their organisation has been outstanding, and they're doing everything possible.
There has been no complaining of injuries. They was a little bit cold when they came on board, but being inside of a ship, and they are in good conditions now.
Stand by 1 second.
That's good news for Paisola, who's been on the phone almost non-stop, talking to media from around the world, trying to get answers from the tour company and calling different governments to make sure rescue efforts were being done.
We're going to do whatever it takes, through whatever means we have, to make sure that they're taken care of.
Paisola says he knows his sister and his aunt will make it back home safely, but he almost won't let himself believe it fully until he's actually hugging them. He's keeping up a blog of the updates he hears. If you'd like to follow his updates, you can just go to our website at KSL.com, and we will link you to his blog. Keith and Lori.
Thanks, Alex. Be nice to have her home. Yeah.
Do that every day, and this time something was hit the hole, and we got a little leakage downstairs.
When power on board failed, the crew gave up, joining the fleet of bobbing lifeboats, waiting 6 hours to be rescued. The Explorer was 75 miles from the Antarctic Peninsula near the South Shetland Islands. As it listed at a 25-degree angle, a Norwegian cruise ship, the Nord-Norge, arrived, plucking all 154 people to safety.
They was a little bit cold and wet, but in good conditions.
There were no injuries, not even any cases of hypothermia. All the passengers who were on a 19-day cruise were taken to the nearest island and will be airlifted home as soon as possible. NBC News traveled on the Explorer in 1986. Built almost 40 years ago, it was the first passenger ship to cruise to Antarctica. With a tough double hull, it can withstand extremes, but there are reports of alleged deficiencies found during a safety inspection in May. Antarctica is increasingly popular with tourists. This video was taken from a ship that was close to the Explorer today. Breathtaking, yes, but treacherous too.
They see fantastic pictures of icebergs and penguins on the TV without actually really quite factoring in that there's no rescue service there, there's no Coast Guard service.
For the passengers of the MV Explorer, it was a lucky escape. Tonight, the ship is listing dangerously, the polar ice closing in. Donna